Hey everyone, Rei Caldombra here, doing my video for Summer 23 anime season review. So, if you didn't see the last one, I love anime and I've been consistently following the seasonals for years now, and I thought that I'll be making a video each season just talking about what I watched. If there's anything notable from the season that I didn't watch, I'll talk about that, and going into and talk about what I'll be watching, or at least planning to watch, in the next season. So first I'll just start with what I did fully watch and complete this season, starting with Reborn as a Vending Machine. So I really like Reborn as a Vending Machine. It's not, that wasn't super popular or well liked, but I just personally find that I really vibe with it. Just the tone is just really fun and comfortable and just very wholesome. The characters overall are pretty good, especially the main two. And just the greatest thing about it really is the premise that is genuinely interesting and unique, and that it fully commits to. Because I feel like there are plenty of isekai that have some weird, gimmicky premise, and that's not really anything unique or notable. But with Reborn the Vending Machine, it's a very important core part of the story. The fact that he's a vending machine, that he has a completely different way of functioning and operating and different capabilities that make it genuinely interesting and engaging. And you really see how he impacts the world that he's in. So what really sets Reborn as a Vending Machine apart from other isekai is that how good of a premise it has and how well it actually executes that premise. Because yeah, there's plenty of isekai with weird, wacky, stupid premises, but a lot of the time I feel they run dry very quickly, or they quickly like backpedal on them. They backpedal on it, or something along those lines. More as a vending machine. The dude's a vending machine, and he's actually a vending machine, an actual magical vending machine, and he continues to be a magical vending machine. And him and the other characters are in unique situations and go about things in unique ways, specifically because he's a vending machine. So the weird, quote unquote, weird gimmick of the isekai, it actually matters. Yeah, it actually matters. It's not just that it's some weird item that just slightly changes things, or it's just some personality trait that can quickly get like boring and or grating. It continues to be interesting, and just it keeps you engaged because it fully commits to its weird premise and it goes all the way with it. And that really what I think is so good and unique about it, and why I really do recommend it, and why this is personally one of my favorite isekais. I believe it's already been confirmed that we'll be getting more, and if that's true, I am very much looking forward to that. So yeah, I highly recommend Reborn as a Vending Machine. So going on to the next one, we've got JJK Season 2. Sure, everyone. I don't have a ton of different things to say that a ton of other people haven't already said. I think the prequel section, like the first few episodes, I think they were absolutely excellent. Super interesting, engaging. It does both its darker story focused elements and its like fun elements. It balances them really well. One of my criticisms of JJK, because like I've always liked it. I watched the anime starting from the beginning, and I always liked it, but not quite as much as everyone else did. Like it wasn't head over heels. Oh my god, this is the best shonen in decades or anything like that. But now we've gone more into it, especially with season 2. I've been drawn in a lot more, and now I'm really starting to see a lot more where the hype is, and buy a lot more into the hype. So yeah, I am greatly enjoying it now. I am much more of an actual fan of this rather than just like mildly enjoying it like I did with the first season. Yeah, with the first season it was just like a good show to me. But now I'm getting more invested in the characters, in the worlds, and the theme it's going for. Obviously, the animation and art is excellent. Everyone knows that. But yeah, so this season has managed to make someone who just thought it was a pretty good show really elevate it to that hype that a lot of people that I saw everyone talking about. Now I'm starting to buy into that hype. It is excellent so far. Not perfect. It still has some slower moments. Not that slow is a problem, but stuff that I don't vibe with as much. But it's doing more things that I like now. It's great. Oh, now next, we've got Helck. Helck it's hard to describe. It's not a great show. It's not a terrible one either. I I like it, but it just barely kept me on the cusp of continuing to watch it for quite a while. Yeah, this one I will. It's hard to talk about it without going into detail, but I'm not going to do that because this is totally non-spoiler. But what makes it unique is that it's a like fantasy action. It's a fantasy action kind of show that. But what makes it unique is that it's got a lot more mystery to it, like mysteries in various ways, particularly with the main character, but in various ways are really at like the heart of it for a lot of it, and in my opinion is the main appeal. So if you really buy into and like mysteries, then I would recommend giving it a shot. But if you're not, I think this is one that's pretty easy to recommend as a skip because like it's not ridiculously funny. It doesn't have great art and animation. The action isn't particularly great. So it doesn't have anything that's like really gonna grab you unless it's the mysteries because like the mysteries are really what's gonna keep you going. I do think the main female character, Vermilion, I think she is a really good character because I didn't mention that is that it's the mysteries and it's her. She I think is just a very fun protagonist. She's got like a great design. She's a very good character. Yeah, she's a very good character. So another thing I could say, if you just want to give it a chance, if you don't end up really liking her, skip it. Because I think she's the main appeal. Helck is also a fun character, but intentionally you really don't get a strong vibe on him. So unless you're really into the mystery aspect of it, it's hard for me to say like, oh, you'll really like Helck. Maybe you'll really like him as a character going into it because you really don't get a strong idea of his character until much further in. But yeah, so this is one where I can say it's okay. I'm starting to like it more now. It's grown on me a bit. As of where it currently the anime is airing, it's putting more good ideas on the table. That's making me like it more. But this isn't one that I'd say like comes highly recommended. So it's a decent show. We're on to the last one. We've got Zom 100. So this is also one like JJK that a lot of people are watching and a lot of people are talking about. The first episode, fantastic, super great. I would say one of the best first episodes of a show I've seen in a while. And that is the peak of it. I still think all of it is some measure of good, but it never quite lives up to that first episode, in my opinion. But even after that, it continues to be good. It has production issues, like a lot of people have mentioned, and it does have some flaws and kind of criticisms you can make. Usually it's pretty funny, but later on it dips a little bit. Yeah, it dips a little bit. Again, at the very beginning, I think like the first episode, the two episodes after that are still the strongest episodes. So yeah, it's a good, fun show. I really like when it's tackling like negative aspects of the workplace, specifically with Japanese work culture. I think that's when it's at its best, and when it's kind of just having goofy fun with like this weird tone of being very goofy and silly in the zombie apocalypse. It's a good show. That yeah, I will continue watching it even with the episodes being delayed. I'm not as like a diehard fan of it as I was at the beginning, but I think it's fun. It has a unique tone. This one I would definitely recommend giving a chance. I could say if you don't think you want to watch the whole thing, I would honestly say even if so, watch the first episode because the first episode is genuinely very good and pretty directly hits at the themes that it's going for, even just within that first episode. So, what I would say, I would definitely recommend checking out the first episode if you haven't. And then give the next few episodes a chance if you end up really liking it. But I would say at least watch the first episode because it is an excellent first episode. Right, and actually, yeah, for this season, it was only 4 shows. I'll be watching a bit more going forward. Usually, I watch a little more than 4, but sometimes there's only so much time with everything else going on in life to have more time to watch more shows or less interesting things. But for the season, it was just these 4. Then going on to what I actively did not watch. So I'm not going to go through the whole list and say everything I didn't watch. That's not the point of this section. This section is if there's something I feel like talking about as a reason for why I didn't watch it, or perhaps like in this case, there was something I have watched that I'm choosing to not continue watching. I would bring it up like this, which for me is Devil is a Part-Timer. So I originally watched the first season that came out, the very first one, and I thought it was good, but another one where I didn't really see the hype personally. It was decently funny, but I didn't really fall in love with the characters and I didn't really care about the world or the main story. I honestly think the fantasy aspects of it are not really very interesting, in my opinion. And so I did watch season 2 because it's weird. So like the 2 exclamation points are what's basically season 2, and then this is season 2 of Part-Timer with 2 exclamation points, if I understand correctly. But I'm to me it's season 2 part. This is season 2 part 2 that I'm talking about. That well, that's what came out this season. So I did watch the second season, Devil Part-Timer exclamation mark, and I just didn't think it was very interesting. I just couldn't really get into it. They get more into the story of like back in like their original world, which again, like I said, I didn't think was very interesting originally, and I still don't think it's interesting. It just does not appeal to me at all. I just don't think it's interesting. So I just really didn't enjoy the second season that much. I like when it delves into poverty as like a topic, like the quirky ways that they save money and making jokes about that and stuff like that. I think that part is good, but anytime they start getting into the main story, I just think it's boring and uninteresting. So that's where it really loses me. So yeah, this was just the one thing that aired in summer 2023 that I actively avoided rather than just not trying. Like there's like 30 plus shows that come out every season. This is the one that I went out of my way not to watch because I just don't think it's interesting. And there's not enough there for me to keep going for the supposedly better parts that come later. It's just not doing enough for me to bother continuing with. I don't hate it or think it's terrible, just to be clear. It just doesn't appeal to me much. I don't think it's as funny. I don't think it's super funny. The story's not very interesting. Some of the characters are like solid, but I don't care for that much. Yeah, there's just not really much for me there. And then, now that I talk about this season, I'm talking about fall 2023. Well, just at this point, it's technically this season. So, of the new, not necessarily completely new shows, but of what's not going on from this season, from summer 2023, because there are a lot of shows that have multiple that are continuing on, going to that don't have all their episodes out that started in summer 2023. Of the new ones, I'm watching My New Boss is Goofy. I've watched the first 2 episodes of that, which are already out. It's cute and wholesome. Yeah, it's cute. I like simple, cute, wholesome shows, so I'm watching that. And that's the same reason why I'm watching I'm Giving the Disgraced Noble Lady I Rescued a Crash Course in Naughtiness as well, with that long book of a title. Pretty similar to My New Boss is Goofy. It's just a simple, funny, cute show. I'm watching that. And then there's Beyond Journey's End that I'll be watching. I haven't started watching it, but I think the premise sounds very interesting to me. It becomes very highly recommended from a lot of people, including my friends. So I will be checking that out. Spy Fam Season 2. Yeah, I really liked the previous things that we've done for Spy Family. And I'm going to be continuing to watch it because it's fun and cute. While having like great art and animation. Really, you can give some quick thoughts. Yeah, I think it's funny. It's cute. I wish there was a little more seriousness to it. Because like I can like something that's largely like tries very hard to be a comedy, like Spy Fam does. But my preferred type of show is one that balances comedy and drama a bit more. Like I wish Spy Fam would lean more into serious dramatic things just a bit more than it does. So I'm not as into it as I wish I could be. I would also be more into it if, in my opinion, Yor was a more deep, interesting character. I know this season she's apparently getting a solid focused arc, which I'm very thankful for. Because I want them to go more into her as a character the same way they have Anya and Lloyd. Just to really go more into like why she does what she does and how she acts. She does outside of just her basic personality traits being reused over and over and over again. So I am hoping that yeah, they make her feel like she's there for more than just comedy. And then for all the new shows, we got Dr. Stone New World Part 2. Yeah, I've just started recently watching Dr. Stone and now I'm fully caught up and I think it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I really like its fun tone. I think it really captures that idea of science that it means to talk that it means to get into. I think it just represents that fun yearning to learn and explore and everything that science is all about. It really captures that in a good way and does the sciencey stuff without being like overly technical. I don't think you have to be a big science person, which I'm not a big science person at all, to enjoy it, which to me is a very good marker of like a show that's about a particular kind of niche because I watch a lot of shows like that. So yeah, Naruto New World Part 2 is coming out. I'm really happy with that. And then going on to what I was saying before, we have Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Helck, and Zom 100. Technically Zom 100, which have episodes that are continuing into this season. Yeah, I personally like all these shows, so I'm going to continue watching them. Yeah, I will not be dropping any of them. So yeah, and that's my roundup and lean into the next season. So yeah, I will continue to do one of these videos every season where I just talk about all the different shows and what I'm planning to watch at the time. If you enjoyed this or thought it was interesting, you know what to do. Stuff that every YouTuber tells you to do. And thank you very much for watching.